Today I fucked up by returning a pizza cutter to my new neighbor. Happened 6 months ago. We just moved into a new house. We had a bunch of friends help us move and we naturally got some take and bake pizza because people who help you move deserve pizza. It's the least we could do. Cue pizza time and we realize we have no pizza cutter. This could have been foreseen since all our stuff was in boxes, but things like that fall through the cracks because moving is stressful. No big deal. One of our friends goes over to a neighbor's house and the guy generously lends his pizza cutter. A couple days later I head over to the neighbor's house to return said pizza cutter. I'm feeling pretty peppy since I have a good reason to meet a neighbor. There's definitely a little bounce in my step. I ring the doorbell and a woman opens the door a quarter of the way. I'm only 95% sure I'm at the right house, so I lead with "I think I have your pizza cutter," and I quickly whip it up in front of me. Remember, I'm feeling a little peppy, so my movement was a bit quick. Also, pizza cutter was borrowed from a guy. This lady presumably has no idea that her husband lent out their pizza cutter. So, naturally, when the strange man at the door flips up a knife-like object in front of him, she shrieked and slammed the door shut. The next 3 seconds felt like 3 minutes as I put all the pieces together. She was putting some pieces together too and reopens the door like 1/16 of the way. I sheepishly say, "I believe this is your pizza cutter. They're your new neighbors and maybe we borrowed it from your husband the other day." The next minute was filled with profuse apologies on both sides. I gave her the pizza cutter and then went home. A few weeks later my wife saw her and they chatted and laughed about the pizza cutter incident. So all is well. Too long didn't read, returned a pizza cutter to a neighbor. She initially thought I was threatening her with a knife and slammed the door on me. Clarifications. 1. Our pizza cutter was in a box. Also in boxes, knives, scissors, machetes. Really all of our sharp pizza cutting objects were packed away. That is why we didn't just use a knife. We would have, but we didn't have one available, and yes, we did look through a few boxes. 2. To everyone saying we should have just ordered pizza from a restaurant. Yeah, we probably should have. Our stressed out moving brains had decided that take and bake was the better option. I'm not going to try and defend that position, but it is what we chose to do. But you're right, we should have just ordered pizza from somewhere. Also, now you've set her up perfectly to stab her, when you get around to it. She'll be all "Oh, ha, it's just neighbor guy playing another knife joke." She thought you were all you wanna pizza me? Once when I was like 13 someone knocked on the door late at night and my dad went to answer it. We were all wondering who would be knocking this late. Me, being a small 13-year-old girl, knew it was my duty to protect the family, so I grabbed a really big knife and hid it partially behind my back while he answered the door. I hid it partially so that the robber could see I had a knife and I meant business, and also so my dad wouldn't see I had a knife and get mad at me. It was a Mexican lady with her young child advertising cleaning services. I don't know, I think it's a pretty hilarious way to meet a new neighbor. If you all become friends, this will be a great story to tell. I thought pizza cutters were all handles with sharp discs on the end which I wouldn't think would be mistaken for a knife. No, same thing. But it was at my side and I brought it up quickly. I'm sure all she saw was a metal blade whizzing through the air. Today I fucked up by googling horse vaginas. This was yesterday. I was browsing on Reddit. Someone asked the question, if you were at gunpoint and you had to have sex with an animal, what would you choose? And a top comment said horses because they have the most human-looking vagina. Me being the curious idiot that I am, well, I googled horse vagina. Seconds later my mom calls me for lunch. I left the laptop the way it was and went downstairs. This is where shit went south. Now usually no one ever comes into my room, but my brother broke his charger and went in to borrow mine. He sees the laptop and comes downstairs and tells everyone. Too long didn't read, I googled horse vaginas and left my room. My brother saw it and now my whole family thinks I'm a zoophile. Well, sate our curiosity so we don't have to look. Do horses have human-looking vaginas? They do. Hashtag Windows plus L. Every time you leave your computer. Hashtag Windows plus L. Nice cover story. Because of all of you, I've been Googled various animal genitalia for about half an hour now. Please stop mentioning new animals. Ferret. Congrats op. Horse vaginas are now trending on Google. Today I fucked up by sleeping while my son's dad took him to the bookstore. Unlike most, today I fucked up. This actually happened today. For context, my son is 11 months old and exclusively breastfed. Anytime he sees me, he cries and reaches out for me while frantically searching for my boobs. So for the past few days I have had to wake up extremely early for various events. I mean, school is about ready to start here, so I am very busy lately. However, waking up early is hard to do when I still wake up with my son throughout the night to breastfeed him. Needless to say, I have been extremely exhausted. My so thought that he would be nice and let me sleep in while he took our son to the bookstore. This is where the fuck up on my part begins. Before he left, I didn't give my son his fix of his precious booby milk. I didn't think that it would be a big deal. He nursed earlier that morning and wouldn't be gone for long. While I slept, my so took our son to the bookstore. While there, a woman who looked similar to me walked up to my son, bent over, and said hello. This is my so's unintentional FU. Apparently the woman resembled me just close enough to where my son thought that she was me. He has never done this before, but he grabbed a hold of the woman's shirt, pulled down her top, and almost exposed her nipple and tried to latch before she had time to pull her shirt back up. My so face turned 3 shades of red and he apologized profusely. The woman was also very red but laughed it off and walked away. Too long didn't read, didn't give my son booby milk before he went to the bookstore. He decided to try to take it from someone who resembled me. Edit. Okay, so I seem to have caused a bit of confusion. I am with my son's dad. I didn't think it would cause such a fuss if I referred to him as that, but I guess I was wrong, haha. And yes, my son eats food. When I say he is exclusively breastfed, I meant that he doesn't take formula. He eats food and can drink a little bit of water. Any port in a storm, in times of war any hole is a trench. Not gonna lie, I read that as today I fucked up by sleeping with my son's dad. I need more coffee. I thought that said 11 years old. My eyes are up here. She wouldn't have been so forgiving if he sucked her eyeballs out of her head. Our son did this to multiple surprised female friends. Ours did, too, lol. Booby.